In just short of a decade, Phoebe Bridgers has become the indie folk voice of a generation. And whether or not she wanted to become this voice is not really clear.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just something you never really learn to expect as an indie musician.
Her 2020 album Punisher was a massive hit that completely changed the trajectory of her career. And yet, here we are, nearly 5 years later, and we still have no follow-up to that album. In this video, I'm going to dive into why it's taken that long, and what we might be able to expect in the future. My name is Tyler Common. This is Common Revolt. Stick around.
I apologize to everybody dead who I've offended by my skeleton and ghost costumes.
Phoebe Bridgers' rise to fame started with her album Stranger in the Alps, released in 2017. A slow burn debut album that continues to attract new listeners. With artists like John Mayer and Hayley Williams both singing her praises. I actually found her music because Hayley Williams posted one of her songs on her story the day the album was released. Stranger in the Alps, that is. And then came Punisher in 2020, an album that cemented her place in modern music, with tracks like Kyoto and I Know the End. The former being nominated for multiple Grammy Awards, and the latter being featured in a key scene in Apple TV's show Shrinking that I happen to love very much.
You Phoebe Bridgers! You Phoebe Bridgers!
Punisher made such a big splash in the music industry when it was released that at the 2021 Grammy Awards, as I just mentioned, she was nominated for multiple awards, including Best New Artist, Best Alternative Music Album, Best Rock Song, and Best Rock Performance, both for Kyoto. She lost all of those awards, but don't worry. She wins later with Boy Genius. I'm gonna get there, don't worry. During this time, she performed on Saturday Night Live, and the performance was surprisingly controversial based on how the public reacted to seeing a woman smashing a guitar on live TV, something that men have done long before her, and no one batted an eyelash. But since it was Phoebe Bridgers, people like the late David Crosby had something to say about it. Punisher was so big that it's even received a gold certification by the Recording Industry of America, equating to 500,000 units sold. Instead of immediately jumping into a third album, Phoebe went down a different path. Enter Boy Genius. If you're a fan of Phoebe, you're probably well aware of Boy Genius, the indie rock supergroup consisting of Phoebe, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker. Their self-titled EP released in 2018 became a cult favorite, and in 2023 they did the unthinkable. They returned with their very own first full-length album as Boy Genius called The Record. Not only was it critically acclaimed, it featured the same confessional lyricism and angelic harmonies that we had come to expect that made their first EP such a big deal and so beloved. The press circuit and the touring cycle for the Boy Genius album was very grueling and demanded a lot of Phoebe's time. And as the group continued to grow in popularity, so did Phoebe's time commitments. It wasn't just Boy Genius keeping her busy. Phoebe quickly became one of the most sought-after collaborators in modern music. She featured on 2 tracks on the National's 2023 album, First 2 Pages of Frankenstein. She collaborated with SZA on her album SOS for the track Ghost in the Machine, and even featured on the song Nothing New with Taylor Swift, featured on the 2021 re-release of her album Red. This only boosted Phoebe's profile further, and has likely played a role in the shift in her priorities and time, and taken her focus away from another solo album. Phoebe has been very candid about the emotional toll that being a musician in the public eye can take. In early 2024, Boy Genius confirmed that they would be going on hiatus to focus on other things. This was shortly after the group had a cleanup year at the 2024 Grammys, netting multiple awards. In a statement, the band said, "We're going away for the foreseeable future." And at the very same time as Boy Genius announcing their hiatus, Phoebe announced that she would be taking a break from the spotlight, taking some much needed time for herself. And I personally believe that this was the best thing that Phoebe could do for herself and for her mental health. The music industry, while unforgiving, moves very quickly, but that doesn't mean that artists should have to. The thing that has attracted Phoebe so many fans over the years is her sense of authenticity, and forcing out an album just to meet the industry expectations wouldn't make any sense, and it wouldn't be true to the artist that Phoebe Bridgers is. So, when will we get a third album from Phoebe Bridgers? With her Boy Genius bandmates Lucy Dacus and Julian Baker both readying new albums of their own, Lucy Dacus dropping her album Forever is a Feeling on March 28th, and Julian Baker releasing a new album on April 18th, her collaboration with the artist Torres, fans have been eager and impatient with wondering where Phoebe's album might be. Now, I don't really think it makes sense to compare Phoebe Bridgers' release schedule with her bandmates in Boy Genius. She's her own artist. Phoebe has continued to defy industry standards since she started, and making it a point to preserve her well-being is of the utmost importance. I can't feel my life right now. I'm working to be able to, and the internet doesn't help. I can't function if I do anything in 2024 that is public. If I was going on a solo album campaign right now, I wouldn't. I'd need a break. With all that being said, Phoebe has already built an extensive catalog since bursting onto the scene with her album Stranger in the Alps, her time with Boy Genius, her guest spots, and her time in the band Better Oblivion Community Center with Connor Oberst from the band Bright Eyes. Now, I don't mind that Phoebe is taking her time, because when she does return, it'll be worth the wait. As always, thank you for watching this video. My name is Tyler Common. This is Common Revolt. Hit the like, hit subscribe. We'll see you next time. Just a little sidebar that since recording this video, Phoebe has been spotted on set for a new A24 movie called Primetime, directed by Lance Oppenheim, a movie also starring Robert Pattinson. The movie is said to be inspired by the early 2000s television program To Catch a Predator, hosted by Chris Hansen. No release date has currently been set for Primetime, and the project is still in production. So make sure you subscribe for further updates.